Shalom. How about Shem Yahushua Barakatah to all my brothers? Yahweh Shemalatah by Shem Yahushua to all my sisters. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. We started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. We are a school that teaches Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives their true identity according to the Bible, who we really are. See, we walk around here just destroyed. We don't know who we are. We don't have no identity. We are just strung out on drugs, you know what I'm saying? Harming each other, women out here being whores, brothers out here raping women, you know what I'm saying? And we just hate each other. And we hate each other because we don't know who we are. We don't have no identity. So we tend to express anger and it's take that out on each other rather than the person that put us in that situation, rather than the person that stripped us of our identity. You know what I'm saying? So today's class is Brotherhood is essential. And it is essential. It's essential because we need to start loving each other. We need to start taking care of each other like the Bible tells us to. That's the whole point of the scriptures. That's the whole point of the law and everything else, is for us to take care of each other and start looking out for each other. So we're going to get with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to open up the class to any questions. If you have any questions, type them into the chat. I will be able to see them. If you have any comments, type them into the chat. Anything that's on your mind, just type it in. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be anonymous, just let me know. Put I don't know, just say you want to be anonymous. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to get with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave the class open to some questions as I start to share the class and see if I can get it popping, all right? All right, any questions, type them on in. Bear with me. All right. All right. Shalom, shalom. What's going on at the top? Shalom. So if you got any questions, type them on in. Till then, the first question the first verse we're going to go to is a goodie and yet a oldie. A oldie but goodie. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be Zephaniah 2 and 1. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is a very essential verse, especially with the topic at hand. This is about brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? And the first thing we got to understand about brotherhood is loving each other, taking care of each other, depending on each other. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing we got to understand what brotherhood is. It's suffering with each other. A lot of people are scared to suffer. Suffering with each other is brotherhood too. Going through the downs is brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? So let's get with it. Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. See, it's talking to a certain people. It said gather yourselves. So it's talking to a specific group of people. You know what I'm saying? He's talking to the Israelites, the Black, Hispanic, and Native people of the Bible. You know what I'm saying? He's telling them to gather themselves together. You know why? Because they wasn't together. They were separated. So a situation had to be solved. The situation had to be taken care of. So the Most High just told the peoples to gather themselves together. Just like us in the Isupk is saying today, that we got to come together. And one of the biggest things that Black people complain about is how we're not united. Why aren't we united? If you don't know why we aren't united, let me know. Type in, why aren't we united? You know what I'm saying? Also, share this class if you can. Share this class. You know what I'm saying? But ask yourself this. Why aren't Black, Hispanics, and Natives united? Gonna let y'all think about it for a sec. Type it in if you know the answer too. I want to see y'all answers on it. Why aren't Black, Hispanics, and Natives united? Because our people are in deep sleep. That's very true. That's very true, but I need something more specific. Something more specific. We are in deep sleep. Okay, let me ask you this. Why are we in deep sleep? Why are we in deep sleep? Let me tell you why we are in deep sleep. We are in deep sleep simply because we are too busy loving our enemy. Our enemy is the one that's putting us in this deep sleep. Our enemy is the one that's making us think that our brothers are useless. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the middle of this book called The Black Image in the White Mind. And that's a good reason why we are not together. The image that they paint for themselves is what we believe about us. The image that they tell each other about Black people is what we believe about each other. We don't look at each other with any value. We look at each other as low lives. We look at each other as bums. We look at each other as scum. You know what I'm saying? We don't look at each other as men and women of value. When a brother sees, let's say, Sukihana. When a brother sees Sukihana, he sees Sukihana the same way a Caucasian male will see Sukihana. You know what I'm saying? They don't see her as a sister that needs help. You know what I'm saying? They don't see her as a sister that's been destroyed just like they have been destroyed. They don't see that. What they see is a lady of the night. What they see is a woman that's promiscuous. What they see is a woman that is unworthy of protection. You know what I'm saying? That's what they see. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. We are being punished as a nation for not following the law. That's absolutely true too. That's absolutely true too. We are being punished as a nation for not following the laws, and which is what this class is about. This class is specifically about the law, and the law is about brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? The law literally is about brotherhood. If you think about it, right? You see a brother, I don't know, about to go roll up a blunt, right? You see a brother about to go roll up a blunt. And you start banging on that brother about the blunt. When I mean banging on a brother, I mean, let them know that it's against the laws of God. Besides it being our jobs as priests and prophets, why do we let each other know? Basically, hold on, let me rephrase the question. Why is it love to tell that brother that it's wrong to smoke weed? Why is that love? Why are you showing that brother love that it's wrong to smoke marijuana? Let me tell you why. Because you don't want him being punished by the Most High. You, as a man of understand that the Most High's wrath is something that is a terrible thing. The Most High's wrath is a very terrible thing. And it's only brotherly for you not to want your brother to be in such wrath. And you remember growing up when you probably did something wrong and your parents was about to punish you? Your parents were about to do something to you and your brother, and you basically might have stuck up for your sibling. That's love. But unfortunately, that's not a common story. What it is, the common story is us throwing each other under the bus. That's the common story. You know what I'm saying? Then going around the corner and laugh while our siblings getting beaten. I ain't gonna front, I did that too. Shalom, shalom, sis, shalom. I did that too. You know what I'm saying? I used to run around the corner and laugh at my siblings getting chastised and beat for breaking our father's or our mother's laws. You know what I'm saying? And that is the brotherhood that's missing amongst Black and Hispanics. We are rather show love to our enemy than look out for each other. And that's the whole purpose of the law. So let me read that again from the top. Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desire. Look, we got to gather together because right now we are not together. We'd rather be voting for somebody to rule over us than look out for each other. That's what we rather do. That's why you got so many Black and Hispanics right now promoting voting, because they are too scared to look out for each other. They are too scared to do that. So they would rather vote. They would rather have our enemies solve our issues than us coming together and solving them together. And that's what the ISUPK is doing. We teaching each other that we don't need our enemies. We don't need to be voting. All we need is to come together and look out for each other. That's all we need. It's just that simple. Salakia. All we need to do is come together and look out for each other so we can get off the drugs, so our sisters could get off the stripper pole, so our brothers could stop robbing and killing each other and selling drugs. That's what we need. So our mothers and fathers could stop eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster and having gout and high blood pressure and all that. We will be looking out for each other. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to share the class. If you got any questions, type them on in. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna drop that. Let's go to 1 John 4 and 20. And if you're a trooper up in here, this class is important because the simple fact is this class is some of the essentials. This is what you call milk. This is what you call milk right here. 1 John 4 and 20. Now it's not the 420 that you're so used to in this world. Nah, this is that 420 that actually solves our issues. All right. If you're there, read along with me. Hold on. First John chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. That's something that we need to understand right there. That is something that is people don't understand how the Christian church has destroyed us as a people. The Christian church literally has put us in the middle of the train tracks and ran us over. You know what I'm saying? Let me read that from the top again. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, if you think about it, how is that even possible? How can you love God and actually hate your brother? It seems impossible. See, the Christian church will always say, I love God, I know God. I'm married to God. God knows my heart. Christian church would tell you that they love God. But at the same time, the pastor is sleeping with the deacon's wife. The deacon is molesting little kids. The choir director is a homosexual. You know what I'm saying? The drummer is high as can be. You know what I'm saying? Sister Mary's in the bathroom doing all types of nastiness with somebody's husband. You know what I'm saying? This is the world that we live in. The Christian church teaches us nothing but destruction. So how can you love God when you're doing all those things? How can you love God when you're not looking out for your people? How can you love God when you when you would literally turn away from your brother that needs help? You see a brother suffering, straight up and down suffering, hungry, panhandling, and you turn away your back from helping him. You say you ain't got money. Well, use your debit card to go help that brother. Use your debit card to go look out for that brother. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue reading. If a man say, I love God and hateth his brother, he is a liar. That man is a liar. Look, the Christian church is a liar. Your pastor is a liar. Your grandmama's a liar. You know what I'm saying? Your mama is a liar. They all said they love God. Truth is, they don't. Truth is, they don't. You know what I'm saying? If you understood the dirt your grandmama did, if you understood the dirt your mama did, your daddy did, you understand how much of a lie they are. Because it is literally impossible to love God and to hate your brother. You know what I'm saying? So let me read that for you one more time. If a man say, I love God and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he have seen, like you've seen your brother. You understand what that black man is going through. His sisters, you know that woman. You understand the pain she's going through, the suffering she's going through. We understand each other's pain because guess what? We're going through the same pain. We have the same problems. We have the exact same problems. You think you're the only one that got rent issues? You think you're the only one that can't kick that habit? You think you're the only one that's getting sick and tired of going to that job? You think you're the only one that the boss is belittling? We have the same problems. But instead of taking our problems out where it should be taken out, which is on the person that's putting us through that pain, nah. What we do is we take it out on each other. We take it out on each other. That's what we do. So a sister will start talking a lot of, I don't know if you understand how black women work, but They would talk the worst trash about each other behind each other's back. The things they say behind each other's back, and then sooner or later it gets out to somebody, and now it's a whole world of problems. And brothers, man, brothers, y'all know better. You only friends with homie because y'all smoke weed together. That's it. That's the only thing y'all got in common is weed. Truth is, you robbed him like 20 times. He don't even know it yet. You robbed him like 20 times, took $5, $10 off his dresser or whatever. You robbed that brother. You slept with his woman. You sold him drugs in the first place. You're doing drugs with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's literally a hate amongst each other. We are literally divided. We are divided because our enemy wants it that way. That's why you have movements like FBA, who hates everybody that's not a Black American. Like, that makes no sense to me. Does Black American even exist? Is that a real thing? Black American is not a real thing because we're not Americans, period. We wasn't included in that Constitution. And if you got to make amendments to include us, we're really not included. You know what I'm saying? But we rather show love to those people who did not include us, rather show love to them than show love to that person that's going through the same problems we are going through. You know what I'm saying? So let me continue. How can he love God whom he have not seen? How can you love God when you have not seen God? You don't know God. I know the Christian church would like to tell you that they know God. But let me tell you something. You don't know God. You don't know how terrible of a God he is. Because if you did know, you wouldn't be treating your brothers that way. If you did know, you wouldn't be treating your sisters that way. You wouldn't be putting them through the hell that you put them through. You know what I'm saying? That's for darn sure. You know what I'm saying? Because the simple fact is, that brother, you've seen him. You know that man. You don't know God. It's just that simple. You do not know God at all. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also. Like Christ was, the whole purpose of Christ coming here, teaching us how to follow the law, you know what I'm saying, dying for us. The whole purpose of that was so that we could come together and start loving each other. So Black, Hispanic, and natives will start looking out for each other and stop depending on the Romans, aka America. Stop trying to be so darn American. But the FBA, so-called foundational Black Americans, they rather put down, you know what I'm saying? They rather put down the so-called Hispanics. They rather put down the so-called Caribbeans. They rather put down everybody that is not born in America. Not even born in America. You could be born in America from the Caribbean. They want to put down everybody whose grandparents were not slaves in America, as if somebody wasn't slaves in Mexico. As if the same people that you are a part of wasn't slaves in Venezuela, slaves in Canada, slaves in the UK. But we'd rather put down each other and not look out for each other. Stop following these fly-by-night movements. You know what I'm saying? Remember, there was a movement just like it called ADOS. ADOS, what does it stand for? American Descendants of Slavery, right? FBA is no different from ADOS. You know what I'm saying? It's no different at all. But let's drop that. Let's get with Matthew 5 and 22. Let's get with Matthew 5 and 22. All right. Let me shine that up there. Bang, bang. Matthew chapter 5, verse 22. Okay, I might start at 21. Let's start at 21. Matthew chapter 5, verse 21. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time. So what is that saying right there? This is going back to the Old Testament. See, y'all Christians like to believe that the Old Testament does not exist when Christ taught straight from it. And the people that Christ taught straight from it. So it's telling you something about old times. You know what was said in old times. And what was it that was said? Let's read. Thou shalt not kill. Where was that said? That was said in the Old Testament. So the Old Testament is very valid. You know what I'm saying? Things of the past was written for our learning. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. And whoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. And you know what I'm saying? The people who kill, like if you kill another black man, you are in danger of the judgment. That's what, brother. That was what the law was. The law was not just the rules. The law was also the punishment. The law was also the death, the blood spilling. You know what I'm saying? There's two parts to the law. There's the rule, and then there's the judgment. You know what I'm saying? But I say unto you, 22. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. So if you're just angry with your brother without a cause, you're gonna be in the same situation as if you killed them. That's how important gather yourselves together is. You can't even be angry with your brother. Know why? Because that anger is going to grow. It's going to spill over to something worse. Nobody just angry and just gets over it. Nah, you're going to be angry and then you're going to start, spreading rumors, talking trash, trying to express yourself, which is something I never understood. I never understood expressing yourself. I'd rather be quiet. But you're going to have to express yourself. Now you're just talking about somebody to somebody that has nothing to do with the situation. Not understanding how you might be planting a seed in that other person about the person you're talking about. That person you're talking to might feel a certain way about the brother that you're talking about. Now you're causing strife. You know what I'm saying? So just being angry is just as bad as killing the brother. That's why we have a process in Israel to take care of things like that. That's why we gather together to take care of small issues as anger, even unto big issues as murder. We have councils. We have ways to look out for each other, you know what I'm saying, and solve our own issue. That's the main point. We have a way to solve our own issue, so we don't need to be voting. Voting never solved the black issue to this day. What had voting ever done for black people but make things worse for us? You know what I'm saying? So let's get with it. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council. Like if you even talking about your brother saying that he is worthless, he is no value, you got a problem on your hands too. You got to step in front of that council too. You got to step in front of that council too. Because the simple fact is you're causing a strife within. That's how important us being together is. That's how important being together is. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. But whoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. Anybody that's calling their brother a fool, putting him down, breaking his spirit down, just hurting the brother, killing the brother's spirit, killing the brother's drive, calling him a fool, calling him worthless. You're gonna be in judgment. You're gonna be in the seat of the hellfire. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to deal with the Most High's wrath directly. The council can't really solve that because you don't know that brother's value. Only the Most High knows that. and you call him a fool, you might be taking that spirit out of him from doing whatever the Most High has planned for him to do. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got to watch our mouths and how we talk to each other. You got to watch your mouth and be careful about the words you say to one another. Because you could be destroying somebody more than you could ever know. Some people rather be punched in the face than have an argument. There's some people who rather literally get into physical fights than have an argument with their brother or sister. And that's brotherhood, because with a fight, it's done and over with. I don't know, as a black man, I got into many fights with people I call homies. And guess what? We got up after that fight and we were still friends, probably better friends than ever after the fight. Not saying it's right to fight your brothers, but that spirit is in us to understand that the argument can go somewhere where it can't be reconciled. You know what I'm saying? The words that you say, some words that you say cannot be reconciled, plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? But let's get with it. Let's drop that. Let's drop that. Let's go with what do I want to go with? Let's go with Matthew 18 and 15. Let's stay in the book of Matthew. Matthew 18 and 15. Let's get with that. All right. Hopefully you got it and you're reading along. All right. Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. So what's that telling you? If your brother does something wrong to you, how should you handle it? Should you go be spreading rumors? Should you be go talking behind his back? Should you be having your pillow talks? Or should you go to that brother and that brother alone? Pull him to the side and express yourself properly. What should you be doing? You should always go to that brother. Go straight to him. Talk to that brother. Be like, yo, bang, 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 you did this, you did that. You know what I'm saying? I feel some type of way about this. I feel some type of way about that. That's what you should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. If he shall hear thee, what does it mean if he shall hear thee? I mean, he hears your concern. He understands what you're talking about. And he apologizes. Nothing more, nothing less. He ain't out here having back and forth about the situation. Like, look, bro, this, you know what I'm saying? I didn't mean like that. No, he should just apologize. And that's that. No rebuttals, no nothing. And then the situation's over it. You gained your brother. You know what I'm saying? The nation could heal from that. Let's continue. And if he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if he will not hear thee, what does that mean? What does it mean he will not hear you? That means he don't agree with it. Even if he recognizes that he did what you might have claimed that he did, if he might go with a back and forth or not apologize or try to make you understand his point, whatever it may be, right? That means he don't hear you. He don't understand how it affected you. And he ain't apologizing for it. What should you do at that point? What should you do? Let me make it clear. Let's continue. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. That means get some witnesses to hear the cause. Get some brothers who are wiser. Don't be getting any fool to do it. Don't be getting some people who may be biased. None of that. Get somebody who's not biased, who will hear both sides of the story and make a judgment call after that. That's what you do. You get somebody who may be wiser, that doesn't have any biases, that's a real brother to both sides. You know what I'm saying? You do that, and then you see where he may go. Let's continue. Verse 17. And if he shall neglect to hear them, like if he neglects to hear their judgment on the situation, like, look, bro, you were wrong about it. You know what I'm saying? You were wrong. You should apologize. You should make amends. You know what I'm saying? If he's not trying to hear them on that, or it might be in reverse. It might be you, like, look, bro, you're taking it too far. You might be taking it a little too personal. The brother, you know what I'm saying? I don't see how you could have got offended by that. And you're not hearing them. You know what I'm saying? It could go either way. But the judgment of those two or three witnesses should be heard. You know what I'm saying? It should be heard. But if it is not, let's continue. But if he neglects to hear them, tell it unto the church. What does it mean to tell it unto the church? Does that mean tell Pastor T.D. Jakes? Does that mean that? What it means to tell it to the church? That means your problem is about to be aired out publicly. You're going to be in what we call a major council. You're going to be in front of other people, a lot of other people. You're going to be in front of the big wigs, the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be in front of everybody. And all your garbage is about, usually only one person comes to that type of thing. Usually the guilty just tries to avoid that with all costs. And that's sad. That means he never even cared about the brotherhood. If you miss something like that, a major council, that means you never cared about the brotherhood. You only cared about yourself. That's a very selfish thing to do. A lot of people will run out and run and hide from such things. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will do that. A lot of people have done that. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. If he neglects to hear the church, if he's not even trying to hear the judgment of the big dogs, if he's not trying to hear the judgment, the final judgment, then treat him like an outsider. Separate. Pretend like you never known each other. In fact, whoever the judgment is against, he might be outcasted from the whole darn, he got to be treated as a heathen and a publican. He ain't even a part of this nation no more. He ain't even part of this nation. He is an outsider. You know why? Because he is a cancer in this society. And that's the problem with so many of us right now. So many of us, Black, Hispanics, and Natives, are literally cancers to our own selves, to our own people. Rather look down on each other than try to solve the issue. That's the real threat towards Black, Hispanics, and Natives. rather look down on each other than solve our issues. In ISUPK, we solve issues. What I just read is practiced daily in the ISUPK. Counsels daily. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's man to man, 2 or 3 witnesses, or in front of the whole nation. We have counsels all the time because we understand that the Lord said, gather yourselves together. And if there's somebody that don't want to gather together because whatever bickering he had with another brother, he is a cancer that must be taken out. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that. Matter of fact, no. Let's continue. Let's continue with it. Let's just drop down a little further. We're going to stay in the same joint, though. All right. Let's go to, I believe it's 21, yeah. You don't need other drop down that far. Just go to verse 21. Let me type it up in here. This is another bedrock scripture. If you're a troop in the school, man, you need to understand these scriptures that I'm typing in, man. These scriptures are pivotal to you growing in this work. Right? So let's go to Matthew chapter 18, verse 21. Just drop down a few scriptures. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me? What does that mean? How often should your brother sin against you? How many times should he be offended me? How many times should he be, you know what I'm saying, putting dirt on my name? How many times should he be sleeping with my woman? How many times should he be trying to get me high? How many times should he be doing these type of things? How many times, Lord? Let's read. And I forgive him. He's like, how many times should he sin against me and I forgive him? How many times? I mean, it's starting to get to me, Lord. I mean, this dude, he doing the same thing every day. He putting dirt on my name every day, and I'm just letting him slide. How many times should I do that, Lord? I go to him, I talk to him about it. He keeps on doing it. He just keeps on doing it. How many times should I forgive him, Lord? How many times? Ask yourself that. Matter of fact, ask yourself that question. How many times can you forgive a brother who's keep on offending you all the time? Let's get with it. Till 7 times. So Peter's like, how many times should I forgive him? 7 times? 7 times? 7 seems reasonable. 7 seems like something I can handle. 7 times. He ain't even talking in the day. He's saying 7 times. So if he does it to you 7 times in the span of 21 years, that's what he's talking about, right? So this is what Yahushua say. Yahushua saith unto him, I say not unto thee 7 times, but until 70 times 7. I mean, you could waste your time and try to do that math. But once he said 70, I was like, yo, nobody's going to offend somebody 70 times. Then he said times 7. You can do that math all you want. I don't know who's going to do all that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who is going to offend somebody that many times. So what it's basically saying is always forgive your brother, no matter what. What could he have possibly done that makes you want to cause a rift, not just with him, but in this nation? See, this is what you must understand. Your arguments and your pettiness is bigger than just you and that brother. It's bigger than that. It's about this nation, which is why the scripture said, gather yourselves together. And if you're hindering that, there's a bigger problem. There's a bigger issue. You see what I'm saying? You can't let your rift stop you from gathering with your brother. Because as soon as an enemy comes through, you're going to let that enemy kill your brother. You'll probably be right around the corner, peeking, snickering, laughing as he is chopping down your brother. That's why your little bitter, your little pettiness is unimportant. It's unimportant. Get over it. Your issues are not that big. We got bigger issues to worry about in this nation than your brother, you know what I'm saying, not paying you back $10. He probably forgot to pay you back the $10, man. Just ask him for the $10. You ain't remind him of nothing. You just talking behind his back. That brother owed me $10, man. He a bum, man. He can't pay me. Get over it. Whatever petty issues you got, man, it's not more important than us gathering together. Period. We'll continue. But until 70 times 7, 23. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain... Oh, Salaki. That's going into another... It's on the same subject, but it's going on to another issue. But the kingdom of heaven, man, is built on us loving each other. The kingdom of heaven is built on us looking out for each other, not us bickering. Not us being little chatty patties about whatever problems we have with each other. No, grow up and get over it. Talk to the brother. It's not that difficult. You got an issue, talk it out. You know what I'm saying? Trying to solve that issue. Because you being bitter and holding it in and talking trash behind his back, it's causing a bigger problem. But Salaki, let's drop that. Let's get on. We want to stay in Matthew. Let's go to Matthew 25. Hope y'all writing these scriptures down. Matthew 25 and Matthew 25 and bear with me a sec as soon as I find exactly what the scripture is. There it is, 40. Matthew 25 and 40. All these scriptures are in the chat just so you could catch up. You know what I'm saying? I got these scriptures in the chat, in the Facebook and the YouTube. You know what I'm saying? It's all up in the chat. You can go back and catch up to whatever scriptures we're on. If you got any questions, type them on in. Don't forget to share the class. You know what I'm saying? But Matthew chapter 25, verse 40. You know what I'm saying? And it says, and the king shall answer and say unto them, verily, I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of my brethren, ye have done it to me also. See, look, that little problem that you got with the brother, the things that brother has done to you, I understand. You're hurt. But you're going behind his back and spreading rumors and causing rifts within the people. You are doing the same thing to Christ. You know what I'm saying? That's called brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? That's called brotherhood. Christ in this particular scripture, the little ones that he's talking about, the least of my brethren, he's talking about the disciples. And let me put you on game. A lot of us be at camp, we be spit upon, we be treated badly, you know what I'm saying? Water thrown on us, cats wanting to fight us, cats actually trying to fight us. And they're not understanding what they are doing to us, they are actually doing to Christ. And you're causing a rift within the brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you have done to the least of them, my brother, you are doing also unto Christ. Let me read that from the top again. Let's go. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of my brethren, ye have done it unto me. This is how you keep the brotherhood in order. Not just the brotherhood, this is how you keep the nation in order. You know what I'm saying? If we all are brothers, whatever you have done to the least of my brothers, that brother that's down and out, you are doing to the biggest. You're doing it to Yahusha. You are doing it to our King. That's how we should see it. The way we treat one is how we treat all, especially if you're not a man pleaser. Especially if you're not a man pleaser. If you'll rob something, if you want to look out for this one brother that's asking for a little bit of change so he can get a McDonald's burger, how I expect you to look out at a feast? How I expect you to look out at a feast? And if you will look out at the feast, if you do bring mad food to the feast, then you're man pleaser. You're man pleaser. Look out for each other. That's the whole purpose of that scripture in Matthew 25. Look out for each other. Don't be doing each other dirty. You know what I'm saying? Let's drop that. Let's get Luke 6 and 31. Salaki, bear with me. Luke 6, 31. Oops, wrong button. All right, we're at Luke 6 and 31 real quick, right? Oh, my fault. I got to get there myself, right? All right, Luke chapter 6, verse 31. And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. That is important. That is a bedrock lesson that we have learned even as children. We learned that even as children. Our grandmother told us, treat people how you want to be treated. That's exactly what the scripture said. That's the same thing. Treat people how you want to be treated. Do you want somebody sleeping with your woman? Do you want somebody molesting your daughter? Do you want your sister swinging on a stripper pole and these dudes watching her? You know what I'm saying? Do you want your sister on OnlyFans and these dudes paying her $5.99 a month or whatever it is? Do you want that? Do you want that? The things that you don't want, believe me, no other brother wants either. No other brother wants a brother selling their mother drugs. So don't sell drugs to anybody else's mother. It's just that simple. Treat people how you want to be treated. Let me read that again. Salakia. As ye, Salakia, and as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. For if ye love them which love you, what things have ye? You know what I'm saying? For sinners also love those that love them. Basically, even if the brother's hating on you, man, still show the brother love. You know what I'm saying? Still treat him the way that you want to be treated. Don't just treat people how they treat you. Don't be treating them like, oh, that's my brother right there. I'm gonna look out for him and not look out for this dude because I don't know this dude. Don't do that. Look out for each other. You know what I'm saying? If you got any questions, type them on in. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole purpose of that right there. See, our grandmother was trying to teach us something wise, but we wasn't listening. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't listening. But let's drop that. Let's get on Mark 12 and 31. Mark 12 and 31. Let me get there with you. All right, and it says, Actually, let's start with 30. Mark 12 and 30, right? Because this is how you this is mainly for you Christians here. Mainly for you Christians to understand. This is about as simple as it gets, right? And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind and with all thy strength. That means you got to put it all. You got to give it all. You claim you love the Lord, right? You claim you love the Lord. All you Christians claim you love the Lord, right? You gotta do it with everything. You gotta love them all. You gotta put in that work. It's not just saying it. You gotta live it. You love the Lord, prove it. Prove it. You know what I'm saying? This is the first commandment. That is the very first commandment. And the second is like, namely this. And the second is pretty much the same. It's just like it. It's just like it. You got to love God with all your soul, all your heart, all your mind, all your strength. You got to put in that work to prove that you love God. The second is the same thing. What is the second? Let's read it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Wow. Wow. Who is your neighbor? Who is your neighbor? Your neighbor is your brothers, your Black, Hispanic, and Native people. You got to love them just like you love God, as you claim you love God. And if you are loving God properly, this shouldn't be an issue. You got to love Him with all your soul, all your heart, all your mind, all your strength. You got to do the same thing for your brothers. You got to put in that same work to show that you love your brothers. You got to do the exact same thing. If you love God, you got to love your brothers the same way. Like we read earlier, you can't love God and hate your brothers. You know why? Because it's the same thing. This brotherhood is loving God. This brotherhood is literally loving God. Without this brotherhood, you hate God. You know what I'm saying? That drug dealer on the corner with that cross on his neck or that Jesus piece, you think he loves God? Think he loves God? No, he don't. Your mother that's eating that pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, think she loves God? She don't. Those who love God love black people. Those who love God is fighting for black people. Those who love God is working for black people. Those who love God is taking care of Black and Hispanic people. It's just that simple. If you're not doing that, then you don't love God. You just all talk. You rather be at home, getting high, getting drunk. You know what I'm saying? You don't love God. You don't love God at all. But let's continue. No, let's continue. There is none other commandment greater than these. Like all the commandments, they literally, all the commandments is about loving each other. And if you can't love each other, then what? There's no way you can stop watching porn. You can't love each other. There's no way you can stop watching porn. You can't love each other. There's no way you can stop, molesting little kids. If you can't love each other, there's no way you can get sober. Put it like this: if you can't love another Black, Hispanic, or Native person, you technically can't even love yourself. Never mind God. You don't even love yourself. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Actually, let's drop that. Let's get let's go to John. Let's go to John 13 and 34. Let's go to John 13 and 34. All right, let's actually start at 33. Let's start a verse up, which is a good lesson for y'all to learn, man. As y'all studying these scriptures, don't just listen to the scriptures we give you. Go up a few verses, go down a few verses. Try to get the whole context. You know what I'm saying? Try to get the whole context. All right? John chapter 13, verse 33. Little children. Who are the little children? Little children is us, Black, Hispanic, and Natives. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Yet a little while I am with you. So Christ is telling his disciples, his brothers, that he only going to be with them for a little bit. Christ understood what his work was to be. He understood that he had to die for the people. Christ had to die for his people. He understood that. So he's telling them he's only going to be with them for a little bit. Let's continue. Ye shall seek me. And as I say unto the Jews, whither I go, ye cannot come. So Christ knew that he had some work to do. He said, there's going to be a time you're going to be looking for me, but you can't go where I'm going. You can't go where I'm going. You ain't even going to be able to find me. You know what I'm saying? Because he had to go back with the Father. So you ain't gonna be able to get in touch with him. But he gave us something to hold it down. Let's continue. Whether I go, ye cannot come. So now I say unto you. So now that you know this, that you can't go where I'm going. Now that you know this, hear me. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you. That's brotherhood. We gotta love each other as Christ has loved us. We gotta look out for each other as Christ looked out for us. How has Christ done that? Ask yourself, how has Christ looked out for us? How has Christ loved us? Let me tell you, he guided, counseled, taught. You know what I'm saying? He did all those things. and he also died. We got to be willing to die for each other, just like Christ has loved us. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. That ye also love one another. You know what I'm saying? So the way Christ loved us, that's how we should be loving each other. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciple. That's how you know that. That's how you know somebody is a man that's part of the body of Christ. That's how you know where the home of the truth is. That's how you know if the men are willing to die for each other. I don't know if you know about the Atlanta 8, the KC4. You know what I'm saying? But those men were willing to die for each other. You know what I'm saying? They were willing to die for each other. That's brotherhood. They stood up and protected each other, which is something that we should be doing as Black, Hispanic, and natives, is looking out and protecting each other, not bickering over some reparations. Who deserves the reparations? You ain't even gonna get it. I don't even know why it's an argument. I don't even know why it's an argument. You're not gonna get it. But we'd rather bicker with each other over small change than looking out for each other. You know what I'm saying? But all this shall all men know that ye are my disciples if ye have love one to another. And if you go to a UPK event, you will see that love live and in action. At a UPK event, the children are running free. Nobody's molesting them. Nobody's sneaking a child into a bathroom or into a corner somewhere, whatever. You lose your wallet, you will get it back. You will be hearing about somebody's wallet could be picked up at the DJ booth. You know why? Because we love each other in the ISUPK. Nothing but love in the ISUPK. There's no backbiting. There's no disloyalty. There's no. We look out for each other according to the laws that Christ has given us. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know that we are that true one body of Christ. But let's drop that. Let's get Psalm 55. Psalm 55 and 20. Yeah, we're going to the Old Testament. Psalm chapter 55, verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as to be at peace with him. Like, this is talking about a brother who was not a brother to his brother. He has put forth his hand as if to have peace with him. Shook his hand, embraced him for a hug. He did whatever, right? He did whatever. These are the type of people that we rather have amongst us. These are the type of people that we rather love. Is this type of person? You know what I'm saying? Person that has those sweet, kind words that make us feel so good. That make us feel so good. Oh, they so nice. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. He has broken his covenant, but don't worry, he has broken his covenant. Whatever promise he promised you, whatever, he deceived you. But let's continue. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Whose words are smoother than butter? Whose words are smoother than butter? You're a Christian pastor. His words are smoother than butter. That politician that you about to vote for, his words are smoother than butter. You rather believe those things that they are telling you. You got that politician kissing your baby on the forehead. Who knows what herpes he got? The pastor just telling you all types of lies. Words are smoother than butter. Let me tell you something. Our enemy is the Christian church and the oppressor. Let's continue. But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Like, we get this behavior from our enemy. That's how we know how to treat each other like enemies. This practice of deceit, smooth words, and all that, we get that from a people who is not a people. We get that behavior from a people who's not a people. We take it out on each other. Our oppressor lied to the Christian pastor lies to us, and then we go lie to our children and our mates and everybody else. And it's just an endless cycle of hate that our oppressor has given us. Just an endless cycle of hate. So I can bear with me one sec. All right. Let me say the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. He's going to get a hard no on that one. All right. I already try to ask a brother how to work on a Saturday. Nah. Saturday for the Lord's work. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that. Let's get 1 Corinthians 13 and 2. Now the problem is we always what is this? We always want to be like our oppressor. We always doing what our oppressor does. If you see how they treat each other, we start treating each other the same way. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what it is. You heard what Christ says. We got to love each other like he loved us. He was willing to die for us. If you ain't willing to die for your brother, then I don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're doing at all. 1 Corinthians 13 and 2. All right. Let me get it. Oh, should I bring it up on? No. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 2. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing. What does that mean? You got all the faith in the world, you believe in God so much, but you don't have charity. So all your faith and all that love and all that stuff that you claim you had, guess what? It means nothing. If you're not willing to look out for your brothers and sisters, it means nothing. Because that's what charity technically is. It's looking out for each other. If you don't got that, then it means nothing. All that faith you have means nothing. See, Christian church, man, they will be all up in the church dancing, banging the tambourines, and doing all manners of madness to prove they love God. But go ask them for some change. Go ask them for $1 to get something to drink. You'll be called everything but a child of God. Why they give the pastor every dime they got? What the pastor going to do with that dime? Who knows? Probably trick it out on OnlyFans too. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. So what does that mean? He's giving up everything to feed the poor, and he still don't have charity. What does that mean? See, biblically, charity don't mean being nice and spending money. You know what I'm saying? That's not what charity means biblically. So what I want you to do is time to get the dictionary. What does that mean biblically? All right, in the Strongs, it means affection, goodwill, love, benevolence, brotherly love feast. Basically, and what is love? What is love according to the Bible? That's what charity is. Charity is literally loving each other according to the laws, statutes, and commandments. Oops, I went too far. That's what it means. Charity in the Bible don't mean just taking care of the poor and homeless, which is not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. It's good to take care of the poor. It's good to take care of the homeless, but that's not what charity means. So let's read that back from the top again. Verse 2. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains. Remember, faith of a mustard seed could remove a mountain. And have not charity, he don't have the love to look out for his own brothers. He don't have the love to teach his own brothers. He don't have the love to follow these law, statutes, and commandments as the Bible dictates us to when it comes to each other. He don't have that. He don't have that. I am nothing. Without that, you are nothing. You can understand everything about the Bible. You could do all types of miracles and everything. If you don't love your own, if you ain't looking out for each other, then it means nothing. What's the point of knowing the laws of the Bible and you don't love your brother? What's the point of following the laws of the Bible and you don't love your brother? You can mechanically follow the laws and not love your brother at all. It's possible. That's why Christ had to come, because some brothers were doing it mechanically. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Verse 3. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, I have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. Putting yourself in the place of your brothers and looking out for your brothers, it's a pretty painful thing. To put yourself, to take your brother's problems and put them as your own, it's not an easy walk. It's actually a beautiful thing to do, but it's not easy. But you need to do it. If you don't do that, everything that you're doing right now means nothing. If you're not able to put yourself in your brother's shoes and take his problem on as your own, then what are you doing? What are you doing? That's what brotherhood is all about. Looking out for each other. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Verse 4. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up. All right, there's a word in there. I'm not even sure what it means. I remember hearing it a million times, but right now I forgot the definition. So we're going to look up the definition of vaunteth, which is spelled VAUNTE. Basically, that's it. All right, vaunteth. Let me show it up on the screen. Let me show it up on the screen. All right, vaunted, vaunted, vaunted. Vaunt. Intransitive verb, to make a vain display of one's own worth or attainment. To brag. That's what vaunteth means. It means to brag, to call attention to pridefully and often boastfully. So let's read that again, right? Now that we got that, let's read that again. And Slocky, bear with me. And though verse 4, charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity braggeth not. Because that's what vaunteth means, right? It means to brag. Vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up. You know what I'm saying? That's not what charity is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like to, let's bring it to the modern definition of charity. A lot of cats would like to do good to the poor and still brag about it. Look what I did. I understand. Don't put your candle underneath the bed. Let your light shine and everything, but there's certain degrees to it. There's degrees to letting people know your work and bragging about it. Charity don't brag. You know what I'm saying? Charity, look what I done. I did this. That's not what charity does. You know what I'm saying? Charity doesn't do that. Let's continue. Doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil. That's what charity is. Charity does right by its brothers. Charity don't think of evil like, oh, I did that for you. Now you owe me. That's what charity is. Charity is just simply taking your brother's problems on as your own. And you ain't gonna brag about it. You ain't gonna tell the world what you did for that brother. You're not gonna be like, hey, brother, I did this for you. Now you owe me. That's not brotherly. That's not brotherhood. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that. Let's get 1 John 5 and 3. Let's get 1 John 5 and 3. Let me type it up in here. Because a lot of cats, man, they do something good for you. They want to brag about it, telling everybody your business. And then they're running your face, remind you all up in your face, talking about, remember how I did that for you? Remember this? Remember that? That's not right. That's not right. All right. Let's get 1 John 5. I think, hold on. Let's start with 2. First John chapter 5, verse 2. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. See, this is what love is. This is what love is. You claim you love black people, but you eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. You don't. You claim you love black people, but you're smoking weed. You don't. You claim you love black people, but you're selling drugs. You don't. You claim you love black people, but you got an OnlyFans. You don't. You don't. You claim you love black people, but you envious of your brother. You don't. You claim you love black people, but you're extorting each other. You don't. Look, there's so many sins out there I could put up that we commit all the time as a people towards each other. And we claim we love each other. We claim we're so pro-black, right? Look at the conscious community. Look at that polite dude. Polite claimed he loved black people. But he out here molesting black girls. Out here molesting black babies, and he's talking about he loves black people. Black woman is God. Remember, he said that. That's something that he was making popular in the modern day. You can't. You can't. Let's continue. For this is the love of God. Let me tell you, this is the love of God, right? This is the love of God. That we keep his commandments. That's the love of God, is keeping God's commandments. That's the love of God. Not eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. Not doing drugs. Not being a drunk, walking down the street, passed out, sloppy. That's not love. And you allowing people to do those things is not love. You're not correcting those who are trapped in that cloud of sin. That's not love. So me telling you that you are a whore, that's love. Me telling you that you're a drug addict, that's love. Me doing whatever I could do to help you fix the problems that you have, that's love. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. And his commandments are not grievous. Let me tell you something. It's not hard to follow the laws of the Bible. It's not hard. People are like, there's so many laws, there's so many, nobody could keep them all. Well, you're not a felon, right? You're not a felon. You keep all of America's laws, don't you? You follow all the rules at your job, don't you? Let me tell you something. There's more rules at your job than there is in the Bible. There's more rules and laws in America than there is in the Bible. The Bible just has 600 and some change. And really, it's really only two. The 600 and change is just breaking down the two laws into detail. But the law is just us loving each other properly. And it's not grievous. It's not hard to do. I know the Christian church tells you you got to look out for yourself, YOLO. But no, that's not biblical. Looking out for yourself could be the end of you. We got to look out for each other. We got to make each other's problems our own. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's end it on that. Hold on, let's get one more scripture up on here. Let's go to Micah 3:1. I'm going to end it with Micah 3:1. I haven't used this scripture in a while. That's back in the Old Testament, Micah. right, if you're there, give you a couple of seconds to get there. If you're there, read along with me. And I said, "Here, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment?" Like, look, listen to this. Listen to this. Understand this clearly, right? There was a division amongst us, just like there is a division amongst us today. The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, right? But this, though there was a separation, this is talking to all of Israel, the north and the south, the Negro and the so-called Hispanic, so-called native, all of us, talking to all of us, right? And it says, is it not for you to know judgment? It's not for us to understand the judgment of when we do good and when we do bad. Oh, I'm jumping ahead. Hold on, stop. Who hate the good and love the evil? Who hates the good and loves the evil, man? Think about that. Who hates the good and loves the evil? I can tell you right now, a lot of us love evil today. And we know judgment. As priests and as prophets, we know the judgment. We know what happens to those who love the evil. So with that, we got to protect them from themselves. We got to let them know the evil that they do and the judgment that comes with it. That's brotherhood. We got to let them know that they smoking that weed. Guess what? The next blunt they roll up might have fentanyl in it. And I won't be surprised if they end up putting fentanyl in these edibles and stuff. That's the next step. You're gonna have fentanyl tea with THC in it. And I gotta tell you that just stay away from it altogether. That's where it's safe. Stay away from it altogether. You know what I'm saying? Marijuana's gonna kill you. It is. I've seen it happen before. Twice. Stay away from it. Let's continue. Who plucketh off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones? Understand? How may I put this? You're destroying yourself. Let's make that clear. Your love for the sin and the things that you do is literally destroying yourself. You are literally ripping your own skin off. You are literally destroying yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's like that's not for me. You are destroying yourselves, bro. You know what I'm saying? So who does that? Who also eat the flesh of my people? Who is eating the flesh of our own people? We are. And we're helping our enemy eat our flesh. Eating our flesh is not a literal thing. They ain't talking literal. It's talking about who is helping destroy us. Who is helping kill us, destroy our people. The love for evil that you do is helping you destroy your people. You know what I'm saying? A black woman would not be a stripper if Negroes did not go to the strip club and give her money. A black woman would not be a whore if Negroes did not love whores. The love that we have for the evil is literally devouring us. It's literally destroying us. But we got to learn to start loving each other as the scriptures say. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. And flay their skin from off them, and they break their bones and chop them in pieces, as for the pot, and as flesh within the cauldron. We are literally doing that to ourselves, man. We are literally destroying each other. And that's something that we got to do. But I'm going to end the class on that, man. Stop destroying yourselves. Start loving yourself. Start loving each other. The more we start loving each other and take care of each other, the quicker we get out of this hell that we call America. The quicker we be able to have our own kingdom, have our own language, have our own military, have our own currency. Because right now we're slaves enjoying another man's food at his table. You know, and with that, I say, shalom.